Sorry, what did he say out loud then?
He said a plate wouldn't fit into that 8-ball, but a key would, or codes to some safe.
That is true.
You could
Cassie
just ask
known
your
about
mother.
any safe or the like?
The Pokeball 8-ball, by the way, Cassie, is the very last thing that your dad ever gave you.
It is indeed.
Before he died. It's the very last thing he gave you.
Yep. But out of character, would she know of any safe or anything? You know, talking about keys or a code, none of that would...
I don't think you would be aware of such a thing, no.
Okay. Oh, Cassie seems, to bristle up a little bit at the mention of all that. She says, look, I'm willing to go home and, check the place out. I'll look for floorboards or whatever, but I really don't think it's gonna be there.
Did he tell your mother at all? Do you have a mother? Oh wait, you do, yeah. I remember, yeah.
Yeah, we saw the flashback.
More backtracking.
It's been a long day. I don't blame her.
If he ever told her, I was not aware of it. I mean, I guess hell, what am I aware of nowadays, but...
Well, the truth is unknown until it's discovered, right?
Unknown! So something seems to click, but Cassie doesn't say anything.
Where did he even get the Iron Arceus plate? Like, this cat has been lying around.
It's like Norse psychic. I mean, I can't say I know for sure, but he did go on some expeditions, just in his line of work. It's natural. But it's possible.
Expeditions?
Why would other people in an expedition let him take the Arceus plate?
I don't think people have to let people take anything. That's what I've learned.
Yeah. Same thing with shoplifting back in the day.
He might have got it for study, I guess. Like,
He wouldn't steal it, yeah. If he had it in the first place, it was just for the sake of, experimentation or whatnot.
He wouldn't steal it?
No, he wouldn't steal it.
All right.
I don't know. I mean, do you want me to call my mom and ask her to check around? Is this something you're asking of me, or are we gonna plan a trip down there sometime?
I only do 3-day weekends now. I have 3-day weekends now. It's amazing.
If I didn't connect the doors to the plates, I'd think this whole idea was stupid, if I'm being honest.
Okay.
Have you ever opened...
It's your theory. Want to test it?
Have you ever opened that ball before going to visit your mother? I think you need to open that ball of yours.
Can we try opening the ball here?
It's a dream world, so if
Goes over to Cassie's door.
Yeah,
Is
Cassie
Cassie's
doesn't
door
know
open?
Yeah,
Well,
it's
just
open
to-
because we
Just
went to
at
look
Tiffany asking, Cassie would shrug and walk in and pick it up.
Takes ball out of her hand. Do you have magical key or code inside you? Shakes. Result?
You shake, and then you look into the magic Pokeball, and then you see a scene playing out in the magic Pokeball. Riz, we're gonna take this back. This is a vision that actually happens.
Okay.
This is a flashback. You are at home, and you go downstairs, and because your dad has sort of like his own personal like basement lab. It's not his full-on lab, but he has his own like personal lab at the basement of your house, and he has his back to you, and you can see that he's running some experiments with his with a spray, like with his devolution spray, at the moment.
Okay. So then, as she enters, she'll just call out, "Hey, Dad, what you working on?"
Hey, Cassie. Your dad gives you a warm smile, and he turns around and says, "How was school?"
It was school. It's pretty boring.
You should work hard, try to keep your grades up. You want to make sure that, you've reached your full potential.
And she'll smirk a little. Dad, you know I have some of the best grades.
I know, he says, and I'm just saying that no matter how much we know, there's always tons more that we don't. So we just got to keep trying.
I mean, all right. I'll keep at it. I guess I could work a little bit harder.
Do you want to help me with a little experiment here?
Always. What are we doing?
And he says, well, we're trying to work on my de-evolution spray again. You remember me talking to you about it before?
Mm-hmm.
He says a lot of people are so caught up on getting their Pokemon to evolve. I just figured, why not come up with something that might help them devolve? Especially could be particularly useful for Pokemon that have branching evolutions. Maybe that Jolteon doesn't want to be a Jolteon anymore. Maybe that Jolteon wants to be a Flareon or something. I don't know. I'm sure that there's something that could be of use.
Yeah, there's always an application.
So we're trying to see if I can experiment a little bit on this. He's pointing at this. It's basically like a petri dish of sorts. And he says this petri dish, he says, contains some Pokemon cells, specifically the Pokemon cells of Pidgeotto. I'm basically trying to put in the right amount of spray, getting the ratios correctly so that it might be able to activate and transform it into Pidgey cells.
Well, it's got to be a lot harder than just using an actual Pokemon.
It is a lot harder, but it's a lot more, well, ethical, I suppose.
Okay, so she'll nod and just expect him to continue on.
He'll nod and he'll say, so why don't you take some of these dishes here, and I have the amounts of spray on this paper that I was wondering if you could help apply, and then we can see the results.
Okay, so how would I be able to know if it worked?
He says the effects should work instantaneously. There's 3 outcomes. Either A, it'll devolve into the Pidgey cells. B, nothing would happen. Or C, the cells would deteriorate.
So what would happen if I sprayed you with it?
I would not recommend that. It hasn't been tested on humans, and I'd rather keep it that way for the time being. Although I suppose trying it on human cells at some point would be useful, but I don't think, honestly, I postulate it won't really have any effect.
You know,
Better safe than sorry.
I've been wanting a raise in my allowance.
He says, Cassandra Pine, are you trying to threaten your way into a better allowance?
No.
What would your mother say?
I think she'd be rather proud of me. Look at me being all smart and taking the initiative.
He'll smile quite a bit. Well, one thing about yourself, Cassandra, you're definitely ambitious, and you find ways for you to get what you need.
Well, I'll go start working on these dishes for you.
You'll start working on your dishes for a little bit, and there's some successes, there's some failures, and you get some pretty good readings. Then, shortly after that, your father sits back down onto his chair, and he rubs his eyes a little bit. It's been a long day for him, and then he asks you, Cassie, let me ask you a question. What exactly do you see yourself wanting to do after you graduate from college?
Oh, I don't really know. I mean, I guess probably just keep working with you.
Is that really what you'd be interested in? I mean, I know I've always been pushing you into the science field, but I never really stopped to ask you what you actually wanted.
She shrugs a little and says, I mean, I don't have a lot of experience in other areas, but I think this has been fun. I mean, don't you?
Well, yes. I mean, I enjoy doing it because I just love gathering knowledge in general, from Pokemon specifically, and evolution just always fascinated me. What exactly about science are you passionate about, Cassie? I'm just curious.
Well, it's like you taught me all the questions that we have in the world, all the answers that we can find, and then you find some more answers, and it just leads to more questions, and bit by bit, we're kind of unraveling the mysteries of it all. It's exciting.
So if there was one major mystery, what would that mystery be that you'd want to unlock then? What would be your main goal, I guess?
Well, I think one of the biggest things that's always bugged me is... Dad, do you believe in the gods?
He looks a little bit surprised by that question. I believe in the existence of legendary Pokemon. I believe that much, and I believe that there are a lot of things that happen that science can hardly explain. Psychics, for example, and other paranormal things. Do I believe that Arceus created the universe? Personally, not really. Do I believe that these legendary Pokemon are there to guide us, to help make us better people? Maybe. I don't devalue anyone who decides to follow the gods' religion or practice, but it's never really been something that I really took into consideration. I tend to stick with things that I can actually understand, and science is something that I can logic my way through.
She nods along. Yeah, exactly. And so I think that if we could really find proof, if we could really find something that actually explains how it all happened, if Arceus did create everything, if, the other legendaries are here for those reasons, if they really did start culture and everything like that, I think that would be one of the biggest mysteries anyone could solve.
Yes. There is a lot of mystery surrounding Arceus, I agree. The Pokemon who supposedly created everything. There are a lot of scientists out there who have been trying to unlock the secrets of Arceus, that is true. Because not only do they believe that Pokemon came from it, but all the rest of us and the world itself, well, sort of was spawned by Arceus's spawn.
Mm-hmm.
As the stories tell. Well, I'll tell you what, Cassie. Let's you and I make a promise to each other.
What promise?
That we'll continue trying to better ourselves and to seek out the truth of things. I'm going to try to unlock the mysteries of evolution, and you try to seek after the mysteries of the gods or Arceus or whatever. And whichever one manages to unlock the mysteries first will buy the other person ice cream, amongst other things. I can't really think of what that would be, but ice cream sounds like a good thing to start with. Do we have a deal?
We have a deal. She'll extend her hand.
I'll take her hand and he'll give it a shake.
I think we can both agree that Mew's cuter anyway.
He chuckles a bit. Muse, that's one of the religions that I think that your mother tends to favor a bit more. She was more of the religious type than I was. Here, Cassie, he says, and he takes a magic Pokeball from his desk. I want you to have this. This is something that I've had since I was your age, too. It's a silly thing, I know. Normally when I sought the answers to questions back in the day, I would use that. But maybe it will help you out as well. Someday. Unlock some future mysteries.
So she looks down at it and smiles a little and says, "All right. Thank you, Dad. I'm sure it will solve all the problems for me."
You make me very proud, Cassandra Pine. I hope you know that. And I love you very much.
Love you too, Daddy.
He'll nod, and then the scene ends. That's the scene that you saw in the Pokeball.
Huh. Well, that was more fruitful than my Google searches today. Let's fall back to Cassandra.
Out of character. Did only Tiffany see that? Or did everyone
I'm
see
assuming
that?
everyone saw it.
I'm assuming everyone saw it, yes.
Okay, so it wasn't like in the little circle. It was like everyone is drawn into it.
Everyone's drawn into it, yes.
Okay.
The
Well,
way the
then,
Dream Zone works normally, of course.
then as we go back into reality, which in this case is the dream world, Cassie's cheeks are a little stained. But she doesn't say anything.
Well, now I feel bad. Are you okay?
So she takes the ball after you offered it and just nods and wipes her eyes. Yeah, no, I'm fine.
All right. Wasn't expecting that, by the way.
So if it's all right with you guys, I'd rather not smash it.
Yeah. Never mind.
Of course. I'm sure there's
Just hold
some
the
way to
ball
open it.
closely.
I'm sure there's some way to open it if it's meant to unlock something.
If he really did intend for it like that, yeah, he'd be smart enough to come up with some way to open it.
Or make the Pokeball the key itself.
That is an idea.
I'll look into it when I wake up.
Okay.
All right. So, what are our plans for the next few days? We're doing the rally thing tomorrow.
Yeah, yeah, I'm still good for that. Is everyone else?
Molly's gonna say, actually, the lieutenant and I we had a conversation, and I don't think, actually, it's definite. I can't make it tomorrow.
Okay.
Should I ask?
Where will you be?
At the prison with the lieutenant talking to Madison.
All right. Well, I feel somewhat okay. You're with the lieutenant. You should be a little safer.
Mm-hmm.
Madison's Pokemon was taken.
What?
I don't know if you ever heard about that.
No, first time hearing of it. Then again, I'm just now telling you about the plates, so understandable.
Yeah, there are Pokemon being taken from people's PCs, and there have been electric type Pokemon being stolen, and I guess Tim was one of them.
Oh.
So don't put your Pokemon in PCs.
Gotcha.
Yeah, stay away from the PCs. I've never really put Bullet in there anyway. I just never saw the point.
No.
But definitely not now. But here's the thing, though. I didn't put him in there. I guess it's possible that he put himself in there because he likes being inside computers and laptops. But at any rate, I have to go sort that out with Madison tomorrow. And but that also means that the lieutenant is not going to go to Castelia City, which is where the spooky plate is. And he was going to go there to try to secure the plate.
Well, let's be
And
honest.
also,
The plates are our business anyway.
True.
yeah, and also, Molly looks at Chase.
It's also where Whitestone Orphanage might have been.
What, the place that burned down?
I don't know what happened to it.
And
Doesn't exist right now. It's been covered up. But if there's a plate over there, and I just feel like everything's lining up, we might lose our shot.
It's almost hard to believe in coincidence anymore.
Well, speaking of people who can't go to the psychic rally, I told Remy about it, and he was very enthusiastic about telling me not to go. He was a
understandable.
little
Wait, but you are our psychic. You were our connection to that.
Well, we had our own invitations, let's be honest. She just would have been a lot more credentials.
True. Still, I mean, are you sure it's just Remy? I mean, he could live without you for one day.
Yeah. Chase, you sounded like you were about to do something stupid.
I was definitely thinking of something stupid.
Okay. Is it what I'm afraid it is? You want to go there?
Yep.
Okay, here's the thing. I super don't want any of us alone right now. Not traveling.
I could go with him. I've traveled outside of regions before.
Okay.
Haven't got shot down.
Well, then let's say worst case scenario, the bad guys get to Castelia City before we do, and they get the plate, right? That means when we find them, we'll just take all 5 at once.
Because we've done so good at that.
And we have
They won't
time.
be carrying them on them.
I've agreed to go with Molly to the facility. I think that's my second best chance at finding out about the orphanage. And it was my first plan. As much as I want to go back and dig up those memories, I think they'll, one way or the other, they'll come and find me. Right now, I need to get access to Madison. She needs to be out of that facility.
Well, is there a time limit on Cresselia? We could just go another day.
And we will.
All right.
Well, surely there will be other rallies, right? I mean, that's just how the pieces fell into place for me. It's at the same time as the rally. I can't go. I have to be there for Madison.
Yeah.
At the same time, I don't like the idea of us being separated either.
Yeah.
I mean, I figured it was just going to be me and Tiffany anyway going. It's, we're not going to do anything. It's just to get some information.
Well, us and a Grimer. I don't know if you're bringing Fern or not.
I guess I could ask if she wanted to come, but I wasn't really planning on it.
And Noir really should be there.
Have you met Remy?
Not for long enough, I suppose.
Yeah.
He can be pretty stubborn.
Seems that way. But
Well, if you're going to do the other thing, would Remy be too opposed to Noir running perimeter check? You wouldn't actually have to go inside the meeting.
I'll chat to him about it. He's not going to like it, but...
Well, I don't know how much Remy trusts Bullet, but Bullet will be flying around. I asked Bullet to fly around overhead, as we were supposed to do, and he will have Lux with him. I mean, if you wanted to ride along too, you'd have both Bullet and Lux with you. If that would make Remy feel better.
Maybe. And if anything bad happens... Sorry.
And can we all agree that this is only going to be recon right now until we get back together?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Do I
Granted,
look like a fighter?
we should keep in mind that they can, read minds, but recon was the plan.
Oh, you guys should... Oh, they're going to, if there's any telepaths there, and if you don't have any defenses against it, they're going to be able to pretty easily catch on to your lie.
What lie? We're going to a rally. I am genuinely curious about their plight.
Okay. So you don't have any ulterior motives or anything you want to hide
I just
from
got
them?
invited to a party and I'm going. Cassie?
I kind of agreed with the whole, curfew thing, but I'm keeping an open mind, and I also want to learn more.
Exactly.
Okay. All right.
No arguments, all right.
Go.
So,
Interesting comment there, Cassie. Okay.
Yeah, no one seemed to care though, so hey.
Yeah.
All right. So just to try to move things along, the next day, we'll start with Molly. Molly, being back here at the correctional facility is probably a little weird, maybe awkward for you. You actually recognize a few familiar faces. Some of them wave at you as you pass by. You see some of them whispering to each other. You're not necessarily about anything bad, but you might be like, "What's Molly doing back here?" You know. And then the Jennies who work at the facility will take you over to a room where you know is the visiting room, and you can see that Madison is there in her orange jumpsuit, and when she sees you, and by the way, the other person who's with you in addition to the lieutenant is also Rookie Kearney is there as well, Nevi as well.
Mm-hmm.
And Molly will see you. Molly, you will see Madison, and she will run up to you and says, "Oh, Molly, so good to see you." And she wraps her arms around you and she gives you a big hug.
Yeah, and she hugs her too, and then Molly says, "I brought you something," and she reaches into her bag and she pulls out some of the snacks that she had taken from the contest hall.
Oh, thank you, she says. This is so much better than what we get over at the cafeteria. No offense.
I figured. Are the French fries still as good as we remember, though?
Yeah, they're still pretty good. Actually, even better this time around. They're a lot more soggier, which is how I like mine. I'm not really much of a crunchy fries person myself, but to each their own.
Yeah, so anyway, I hope you enjoy these. Bullet and I certainly did.
She finally sees the two police officers there next to you and says, "Oh, hi, Lieutenant. Good afternoon, Miss Rainier," says.
I'm sorry, Madison. I tried to make sure he couldn't be here, but no. If he's not here, then I can't be here either.
As long as he doesn't get in the way of us getting back my Timmy, that's all I care. And the lieutenant says, "I have no intention of stopping you from getting back your Pokemon, ma'am." And she says, "Good. So will you at least let me get onto my computer then so I can start searching around? Or is that not allowed?" She says as she turns to him with a little bit of contempt in her look. And to her surprise, Lieutenant says, "Do what you need to do." All right then. Do you have the laptop, Molly?
Yes, I do. Molly was kind of sitting here, like, kind of, looking at the tension between them. But when Madison talked to her, she said, "Oh, yes, I have it here." And she pulls out the laptop, plugs it in, everything. Sits down next to Madison.
She cracks her knuckles. And then she starts typing away. The lieutenant starts to walk over to Madison a little bit and is starting to look over her shoulder, but Madison looks at him and says, "Sir," she says, "if you want me to do this, I could use a little bit of space and privacy." The lieutenant, hesitates a bit, and then, without saying a word, he backs up, so he's no longer looking over her shoulder. And then she starts typing away.
Molly looks over it and she says, "I don't understand how you can understand all of this. It's almost like another language."
Then she says, "Well, I don't know. It was something I was always interested in, and I kind of fun, I always liked puzzles as a little girl, and I don't know, learning about computer language is sort of like solving a puzzle, kinda, sorta." And then she's chapping away. "Well, it looks like Tim did actually log himself into the PC network."
Chase will look at Lieutenant Jenny after the scenario where he went behind her to look at what she was doing. Chase will be looking at Lieutenant Jenny and say, "Do you have to be in the room right now?
The lieutenant says, "I have to be in the room."
You can't leave Nevi here and join me instead."
He looks towards he looks towards the door and says, "That is what I was told by the commissioner here at this facility. I can ask permission to leave the room. It's not my call, I guess.
Can you ask
It's their call."
Can you contact the commissioner and ask?
Yes, I can.
I prefer you to come along with me.
He will go up to the door. He'll open up a crack and ask for one of the nearby police officers. And after a few minutes of talking with them, and they said that as long as myself or Rookie Kearney here stays in the room with Miss Rainier, that would be sufficient.
I appreciate the efforts you go through to help us.
I'm just trying. He says, hopefully you know that that's all I'm trying to do, is to help. You wanted to step out? Very well, let us step out.
Thank you.
Mr. Rhodes.
So let's go to the counter of the people who keep the records at this facility. And Chase will approach and say, "Hello there. I'd like to look into someone who might have been placed here in the brother section of the correctional facility. My name is," and he looks at the lieutenant. "My name is Val Curie."
The officer looks towards the lieutenant, and the lieutenant says, "Go ahead and pick up, open up, see if you can get the access to those records. Who are you looking for specifically?"
Looking for a Mr. Thoreau. Sylvain Thoreau.
"Oh, him," the officer Jenny says. "Yeah, I can pull up his records. What specifically are you looking for from his records?"
Is he still here?
No, actually. He's been released.
Chase zips up his hoodie. When was he released?
He'll look at his files, and she's going to type in and pull up his records. And she'll give you an exact date, but the date is approximately 3 months ago. 3 months ago is the approximate date.
He looks at Lieutenant Jenny. "I got what I need. We'll talk later."
He will nod and thank the person at the desk. She'll say, "Well, it looks like Tim did lock himself into the PC network. I'm not sure why, though." And she types in and looks, and then her eyes sort of like, it seems to be reading something. And then she stops, and then she continues typing away. After about 15 minutes, she then stops and says, "Okay, I am not... so I've got good news and bad news. The bad news is I've been doing everything I can in my power to be able to find where Timmy might have gone, and I have no clue. The good news is I have an idea of how we might be able to get to the bottom of this. But you might have to, I don't know, humor me a little bit." And Nevi says, "Humor you?" She says, "I think that the best way to get to the bottom of this, honestly, is to send people after Tim and try to see if they could search for him within the network itself. Now, us humans can't go through the Pokemon PC network, but Pokemon can. If we upload some Pokemon into the network, specifically to try to find out where all these Pokemon went, I could place a tracker on them, and we could track we could keep tabs on where exactly they're going, and maybe find out where all of these missing Pokemon are ending up."
Well, there's an idea. She looks at the lieutenant.
the lieutenant will be back, I guess, by this point. He says, I'm not really sure how long it would take, but we're not going to be able to find him, I don't think, through conventional means. I think we actually have to send Pokemon after, well, Pokemon. And he says, so the Pokemon would actually have to go into the network and try to find the missing Pokemon. Which means, technically, if the Pokemon go in and look for Tim, there's nothing else that we can do. Not really. We would have to place our trust on the Pokemon that we send. Which means that in the meantime, we could go to Castelia City while the Pokemon do their thing. Sure. Out of character, we'll split the group. The Pokemon will have their mission. The trainers will have their mission. I will let you decide which group you want to start with in the next session.
Molly's like, oh, that actually does sound like a good idea. But how many could we send? I mean, what if we had an army of Pokemon? We just sent them all in.
She says, well, technically we could send in a relatively large number, but I think it would be a lot easier for me to keep tabs on them if we limit it to about 5 or 6.
Well, I just so happen to know 5 or 6 if others wanted to join Pokemon. I'd have to talk to their trainers, though.
Well, there you have it. That's the best I can do with trying to get to the bottom of Tim and these missing Pokemon. And the lieutenant's like rubbing his chin. He says, if that's the best you think you can do, that's a better idea than any of us have come up with. And it also allows us an option of going to Castelia City, like I said, in the meantime.
Molly looks at the lieutenant and says, told you she was good.
Oh, I'm sure she is. Miss Rainier, he says, I have been given permission to allow you to leave the facility on probation under the terms that you continue to report back to the facility on a daily basis. And Miss Moon has said that she was willing to let you take residence at her place. I don't know what to say. As much as I'd love the fries here, I definitely would love to I miss being out in the freedom at least, even if it means I have to call in every single day. I suppose I can do that. Good. I think that while we're in Castelia City, I'm sure that Officer Nevi can be in charge of you until we get back. I guess I'm fine with that, she says, looking at the rookie. Let's shift over to the group that's going over to the meeting, the psychic meeting, of whom it's going to be Cassie and Tiffany. Is that correct? And
so Nora will go up to Remy and say, hey, I just heard a bit more about the rally thing that Tiffany and Cassie are going to. Apparently they're bringing along Bullet and Lux. And I'm personally, I know you kind of interacted with them, at least Bullet, during the contest and stuff, and I don't know if you want to keep an eye on them by any chance, because anything could happen.
He looks at Fern and then says, Fern, do you know anything about this? So they're going to do this anyways?
Oh, I know Cassie's going to go, and so is Tiffany. They haven't said anything about Nora, but I said I was going to look after the house. You.
Who's going to look after the Pokemon that are going?
Well, I presume Cassie and Tiffany.
They're going to be
I don't know
surrounded
if
by
they're good.
psychics.
mean, you know how to deal with psychics, right? Does Noel know how to deal with psychics? Maybe they can go to protect them.
So the humans are pulling the Pokemon into potential trouble.
I don't know. Like, no one spoke to them, but they might have decided to go by themselves.
And you're staying?
Well, someone's got to look after the place. Remember last time they left the place without anyone guarding it? There was a bunch of people came bursting in.
So either someone's going to burst into here and you'll be in danger, or the bat and the runt are going to be surrounded by psychics and potentially in danger.
Maybe. I don't know.
He looks at Noir and so telepathically, just subtle, like basically, are you going? Like stay or go is what you read.
I want to do what you want to do, but I'm worried about Cassie and Tiffany and Bullet and Bucks. I don't know if they can defend themselves. Like, I know Tiffany for a fact isn't a very good fighter. She said so herself.
And you read psychics dangerous.
Mm-hmm. I can be pretty dangerous too.
You read dead.
I'm not going to die. I'm not going to abandon you. I'm not going to wind up and vanish. I promise you I'll come back. Okay? I'll always come back for you.
Remy will walk to the door and he'll start pawing at the door. For it to open.
Sure, open it.
And he sits in the hallway and waits for you to leave.
She'll leave.
So Remy will follow.
So Noir is going, is that what I'm hearing?
Noir is going, and Remy is going, and he'll likely hook in with Bullet and Lux.
Okay.
Well, their plan's to fly around, so is Remy just going to be...
He won't go into the psychic area. He'll go to protect the Pokemon. Or try. Or that's his intent.
Is he going to ride like on Bullet's back, or is he watching from the ground?
He's in your second pack, man.
Okay. Okay.
Boys' night.
You're just shuttling them.
Okay. So, you guys go over to the facility. The meeting place is actually at the Saffron City Gym. No surprise there. And you'll go into this. The room where you guys are meeting is going to be like this recreation hall. So there's actually like a table with, some snacks, finger food type snacks. Right now, a lot of the people there are mingling. You see a large number of people wearing various colored pins. So a vast majority of the people here are psychics, but there are a few allies here who don't currently have pins on. And one of the people that you guys do notice at the tables is Cobblestone Pete. He's like stuffing his face with some of the I guess chips and dip, and there's like a vegetable, like a store-bought vegetable with ranch dressing kind of thing that is eating right now.
Well, now I have to wonder: is he psychic, or did he just wander in because he's hungry?
Same question, actually.
Are you gonna ask him?
No. I'm wondering.
Okay.
She doesn't know him at all, so.
Yeah.
Nor will probably like show up at like the last second and go, "Oh, hey guys. Turns out I could actually come." Remy was worried about Pokemon.
Welcome.
Oh, look at you, strong, independent woman.
Huh. Oh, cobblestone.
Oh, yeah.
He
that
turns
guy.
around and says, his face is still like full of, has some crumbs on his beard, and he's like, "Oh, you're the coffee girl."
Yeah, you're the sound guy.
Yes, he says. So, I guess, he's taking another bite off of a piece of carrot. You're here for the meeting too, then, he says.
Yeah, a couple of my friends dragged me along.
Oh, he says, is this your first time too?
Oh yeah, first time for you.
Yes, he says. I'm an ally, he says as he's eating more of the food.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, keep up your sport. Your wink.
He says, yes, go Alcoholics Anonymous. And he's eating more of the food. Does anybody want to tell him this is not the Alcoholics Anonymous?
No.
Nobody's going to tell him? Okay.
We'll just let him enjoy his time.
Exactly.
He did just wander.
Yeah, that's why no winked.
No. Chase's paranoia must permeate. He's totally one of the shapeshifters or splicers.
Oh no.
Sorry. Moving on.
You guys will mingle around, and while you guys are walking, I will say that Cassie accidentally runs into a woman, and you'll turn around, and this woman will say, "Ah, yes, welcome to our rally. I don't suppose. Wait." I don't think I've seen you here before. You must be new, she says with a grin, and you can see a gold tooth come out from her mouth.
Out of character, squealing like a fangirl right now.
I knew you in another life.
Do you say that out of character?
No. So in character, she'll just smile and say, glance back at Tiffany and Noir and no, first time for the three of us.
Hello.
She turns towards you and she gives a smile. Ah, wonderful. We love newcomers. Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Madame Vu. And you are?
Oh, I'm Tiffany Benoit. Extends her hand.
Miss Benoit, she says as she takes a hold of it and gives it a shake, and she's got very pretty, well manicured, long fingernails.
Do they still have the psychic symbols, though?
Please, she says, call me Deja. Deja Vu is my full name, she says with a grin.
Nice to meet you, Deja.
And then she turns to the others.
Yeah, Cassie will, playfully smirk a little and tap her head and say, "What, you don't already know?"
She says, I do sort of feel that we might have met before. Maybe in another life. You look your aura seems familiar. But I can't quite put my little finger on it, she says with a smile.
I'm Cassie, she'll say as she extends her hand. Nice to meet you.
She shakes her hand, and then she finally turns towards Noir, and she says, you are a very, very powerful sort. I can sense it emanating from you. Miss, she looks ever at your pin, Miss Yellow. But she looks at it as if, oh, yellow, really? Okay.
Well, I prefer to go by the name Noir.
Noir.
And opposite hand.
Such a beautiful name for such a beautiful face, she says.
Flatterer. Why are you here?
She says, I have been coming to this meeting for the last several months, ever since it started, actually.
Well, so you'd
What do
be
you-
who to talk to for Cliff Notes of what's been going on.
Oh, yes. There's been a lot of things going on, but I have to say, Sabrina, she has managed to keep things as orderly as possible for the people in the psychic community. The mind's eye, you see, can be very fickle sometimes, but she is able to keep us very focused and even keel, not letting the eye wander too much. It would be very bad for us in general, psychics and non-psychics alike.
Well, focus is key to many psychic abilities.
I'm assuming that these friends of yours decided to support you as an ally, Miss Sinclair.
Oh yeah, they've been very accepting of my gifts.
Gotta support your friends, right?
Yeah, go team.
We need more people just like you, she says. I'm sure that the universe would be a much safer place with people like you around. Fighting the good fight. She just kind of stands there awkwardly.
That's good.
Nudge, nudge.
Well, she says, will go over there and enjoy a few nibbles before the meeting starts. It's very nice meeting all of you finally.
Oh, same, you too.
Finally.
Oh,
You
did I
sound
say
like
that?
you were waiting for us.
Oh, did I say that? She says, oh,
Must be a slip of the tongue.
of course, it always is with me. I say some of the oddest things. Normally, I don't even remember half of the things that I said about 5 minutes ago. Why, I don't even quite remember what I had for breakfast today.
Can I intuition check if she's lying?
Oh, I'm
Yeah,
pretty
go
sure
ahead.
she is, but I would also
Go
like
ahead.
to. 11.
You're not sure.
14?
14? You have a feeling that she knows more than she's letting on, but it's not coming necessarily from a devious place. Maybe from a playful place, but not necessarily a devious place.
Well, you certainly know a lot, Madame Vu.
I do know quite a lot, yes, more than I sometimes would like to know, such is the curse of being a slave to the mind's eye sometimes. Never in my wildest dreams would I be able to completely comb through everything that's buzzing in my head. You probably understand, she says, looking towards Noir.
Certainly a lot of thoughts there.
Out of character, what color is her ribbon on her pin?
I was actually just wondering. that
Does she even
myself.
have a pin?
Very good question. She does have a pin,
Cool.
and her color is blue.
Oh,
No.
She's blue.
Ooh,
Abudi, Abudi.
Yes. It's pretty darn powerful.
Yeah. Yes.
With that, people seem to be gathering to sit in the chairs, and there's like a little podium up there. And finally, you see entering into the room wearing a modest outfit, like purplish outfit, and an indigo ribbon on her is Sabrina. Now, the other thing that's really interesting about it is not only is she wearing an indigo ribbon, but there is a second ribbon right next to it that is white, which, as you remember, is given to psychics that who have given their services, are recognized for their service, despite the fact that they happen to be psychic.
And when you say
Indigo, as you know, is the 6th tier out of 7. 7th being the highest tier, which is extremely rare. Sabrina is very powerful psychic. So Sabrina will get up there, and she's very soft-spoken, but even though she's soft-spoken, she still speaks with authority in her voice. You feel like she's the kind of person who normally doesn't speak unless spoken to, or if she has something important to say. Otherwise, she doesn't say anything. and she will begin the meeting. And the interesting thing is, the entire meeting is her speaking to the crowd telepathically.
Oh, so a
Which
chance
is-
to record it.
Nobody can record what's happening in the meetings.
Okay.
And if anyone wants to respond, they will respond telepathically. Those of you who are allies, though, are free to respond verbally if you want to respond verbally. But since majority of the people here are psychics, it's not as much of a problem. So just to paraphrase everything that Sabrina is saying, she's basically talking about, the success that they've had in ending the curfew. And she's basically talking about how she appreciates everybody, not panicking and trusting in the system that justice will be done. And there are people who respond saying, well, yes, justice has been done now, but it's still kind of scary that such a thing did happen, regardless of whether or not, regardless of the fact that it happened to be overturned. And so Sabrina's pretty much just trying to keep the crowd, again, as Madame Deja Vu says, focused on trying to find peaceful ways of reaching the equality that they're seeking. I don't know if any of your characters in particular wants to participate in this conversation or ask any questions.
I think Cassie's good for now.
Okay.
Based upon what you said, I don't think she'd have any reason to.
Right. Other than that, honestly, there really isn't anything like out of the ordinary that happens during the actual meeting itself. Nobody, you can kind of feel that the general consensus, it seems like most of the people agrees with what she's saying about trying to find peaceful ways of getting what they want, that they believe is owed to them. And there might be a few people who are like, I don't know, I think we're being a little bit too passive or too not aggressive enough. But they don't say anything. But you can kind of see it in their eyes a little bit. So if there's nothing that you guys want to contribute to the meeting, you can go back to socializing. The hall will be open for another, hour before they start shooing people away. And the next meeting will be a month from that day.
Okay.
Sam,
Yeah, Cassie has nothing to contribute, you guys?
is that what everyone expected?
That was
Sorry?
rather peaceful.
And I'm definitely pleased with this, actually.
Are you enlightened? Tell me, how was your first day at the meeting? She says, and it's almost like Miss Madame Vu just appeared out of nowhere, almost as if she just
Deja, darling!
maybe teleported out of nowhere. I don't know.
You mean warped out of nowhere?
Who knows? You couldn't tell. You weren't really paying attention.
Actually...
So what did you think? She says of the meeting.
Gonna ask the real quick, kind of, out of character. So, couldn't tell, but does she have any sort of like a glow about her?
Whatever that role is associated with that. Is there like
I
a
don't-
focus?
It didn't say there was a role, but I guess
Roll a focus.
focus works. Okay. 14.
14. No. You don't sense anything from her for some reason. You don't sense anything from her.
Okay. Carry on then.
What are your thoughts?
Well, it's certainly nice to speak telepathically. See people so open about that.
I'm assuming that Sabrina does it as a precaution.
So the press isn't allowed to attend.
I have seen a few press members come in with Sabrina's permission. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll admit, I was concerned that there would be more instigators here.
You were expecting something more exciting to happen. She says, why would that be?
We've had a crazy month.
Have you?
Yeah.
There
Terrorist attack, comas, good times.
And there were rumors that psychics were involved in that terrorist threat. We don't believe that to be true,
Oh,
but
obviously.
that might not be the masses' opinion. And as reactions can influence decisions, I figured it was reasonable that people might be a little more upset here.
And why do you believe it not to be true, I wonder?
Well, we kind of found some definitive proof.
Oh. Well. She then says, I guess that nobody can argue with that then. If you found definitive proof that the psychics are not involved, then all is well.
Well, you'd like to think that, but some people ignore proof. You know?
Yeah.
They'll cling to their fear. Their conspiracies. And that's where my concern came from.
Understandably so. Well, hopefully whatever you needed to get out of this experience tonight, you got out of it.
I'll say that I did, and thank you for being a good welcoming committee.
Of course. She says, anytime. Well, if you excuse me, she says.
Of course.
Just out of curiosity.
Yes.
Do you know anyone by the name of Iridessa?
Wait. Let me think. Wait. Iridessa. Yes, I see. Ooh, I see a beautiful green dress. Yes. Somebody in a beautiful green dress asking for a drink.
Sounds familiar.
And I see another gentleman, also very handsome in a green outfit as well, running after said person in a green dress with a glass of red wine, chasing her with this glass of red wine for some reason.
Tickling was involved, yes.
Oh, well, maybe I should not delve any further then.
It's harmless.
That's what they all say. That's all I could see from the name Iridessa. I don't think I know of anyone personally, but that is what I see. Is there anything else that you ask of me? She says with a smile.
No.
Yeah, Cassie goes to speak,
That
but
might
holds it
be
back.
To keep in contact with such a welcoming person. I don't know many psychics around. Should I get your number?
Of course, she says. Here is my card. And it basically has it's what you would expect out of like a fortune teller's like calling card, Madame Deja Vu, and there's like an address of where you can find her. Surprisingly though, it looks like her place, her office, like not her office, but her whatever you call it. The location where she normally resides in is what? Yes. Yes, 797 in Viridian City. The mind's eye, it works very mysteriously. When it sends me visions, I don't always necessarily know what they mean. Most of the time, they mean more to the person that I give the visions to, not necessarily for me personally. I'm merely just a messenger. Are you sure there's nothing else that I can try to see for you before I leave? You don't know when the next opportunity might arise next. she says with a smile.
Well, hopefully not too long. You dawn on me as fun.
Oh, thank you, she says. Oh, and by the way, she looks at you straight in the eye, and she says, you want to pick the short one. And then she grins.
Okay.
To whom does she say that?
To Tiffany. The short one. You want to pick the short one, is what she says.
Think?
There's nothing else. She's going to leave.
Really quick. Do you see anything with a magic Pokeball?
Magic Pokeball. Are you in possession of such a magic Pokeball?
No, I think realistically she would have left that at her place. So she'll shake her head.
Oh. I see. Oh. What I see is not very pleasant. Are you sure you want me to divulge?
Yes, of course.
There is something very close to you that you have lost. I don't know when, maybe when you're a little bit younger than now. The reasons for his loss, I see that you sort of sense the same thing, was not because of reasons that were told to you, but for other reasons as well.
What are those reasons?
She keeps looking. She says, I'm not going to sugarcoat it, so I'm going to not beat around the bush. Murder? Is that straightforward enough for you?
I don't know if either of them are watching, but Madame Vu at
Yeah.
least can see like just all the color like drain from her face. She doesn't really respond though.
As to who murder, I don't see any names, unfortunately. But I do see... She takes out a pen, and then she draws something. This. And it's the symbol that was on the door. That's what I see.
Like the Alpha Mega symbol.
That, I think, is the key to finding out the cause of your loved one's death.
Well, what killed him? What does the symbol mean?
That's all that the mind's eye told me, unfortunately. I don't know anything else other than that. What that has to do with this magic Pokeball, I don't know.
Just look at the symbol a little harder. Something's got to come to you.
I'm sorry, she says. That's not how it works.
She'll grind her jaw a little bit and then just turn and walk away.
Cassie, it was nice meeting Miss Vo. She's gonna go after Cassandra.
I asked if she wanted to know what I knew, even if it was a limited amount. So that's the thing. I can only see what I was able to see. Sometimes people might ask after the fact if it was better for them to not know at all. Hopefully, in this case, it's not that case.
Yeah. Well, better go check on her. Thank you. Sorry for the if it's unpleasant dreams. Thank you again.
Sweet dreams, she says, and then she leaves.
Not too much.
I end before Cresselia.
We are, aren't we? So, how far would Cassandra have run?
It's not right. It's just walking. You guys could easily catch up. You know.
Yeah, Tiffany does. Okay, that was weird.
So does Noel.
You okay?
This is bullshit. She's holding information back. I know she is.
Maybe not. I don't know. Powers work. Noir?
Well, Celia shared us some information about like the doors and clues and stuff. Maybe Cresselia wants you to know about what happened to your father. Maybe Madame Vu is only getting the same type of symbols we're getting from the doors and stuff.
Well, if Cresselia wants me to know, why doesn't she just tell me?
I don't know. God's weird.
Yeah.
They don't look out for people.
No, she still doesn't seem happy. I mean, I'm sure you don't blame her.
No.
But...
Totally understandable.
No, I mean, but she's heading toward the exit if you guys are just going to keep following.
Yeah. So what's going on Bullet?
Sure.
Well, for one, did they see anything?
That is a good question.
Did they see anything unusual?
Yeah.
No, I don't think they saw anything unusual except that you see Cobblestone Pete leave the facility early, and he seems to have in his hands like a whole bunch of bags full of something. I don't know, but he seems to be eating something out of the bags.
What
so
a
yeah,
good
he's
drunk.
Yeah. So he's leaving the premises about 30 minutes early with these bags of who knows what's in those bags, but it looks like it might be something to eat.
I'm guessing food. With what Lux knows, he's guessing food. But where is Gobblestone? Is he with him, or was he not inside?
You saw Gobblestone on his shoulder.
Okay.
Yes.
Status
You
quo
saw him
is
on the shoulder.
maintained.
Did he have any bags?
Gobblestone might have like
Just a little
something
rattata
in his
size.
mouth. Like a little rattata sized sack. And he's eating out of.
They came prepared, you know.
Oh, jeez. Tag teamed it. I mean, Remy's pretty content that nothing is going wrong. So as soon as he spots Cassie walking out and then Noir and Tiffany following, he'll put his muzzle down and say, "They're coming out. They're coming out."
Well, should I go down right away, or should we wait?
Let's go down. Let's get out of here.
You seem awfully anxious, puppy. What's the matter?
I just need a break. Too many things are happening.
Oh, that's normal.
It was never normal for my life, not for the last few years. It's only gotten nuts now, ever since you guys came into the picture. And by you guys, I don't even mean just the Pokemon. I mean all the humans that all of a sudden surrounded Noir. I don't like what you're all bringing into her life.
So I don't mean to interrupt, but he would probably be down by this point. If you want him to circle so you can talk more.
No.
Okay.
Oh, Lux does, but...
Just make it sure. All right. So then Bullet will land beside the humans.
And Remy
not
jumps
so
out of the
bad.
packs and runs towards Noir.
Remy, I told you nothing bad would happen. Nothing bad happened. I came back.
Aww.
Not
Pick
dead.
him up if he lets her.
Yep.
And it's like hugs. It's like, let's go home.
Adorable, pretty puppy.
Let's just get home.
He'll just glare at Lux, but he won't respond right now.
Waves.